Hi friends, welcome back to Mule 4 series of learning videos. I am Siva.thankamanee, an integration technical architect. This is going to be a short video where I would like to introduce API Designer, and we can leverage some of the existing feature to create, design a RAML and then create an API instantly. And we are also going to see how to create a mock service even before we start implementation. So these are the four aspects that we are going to see: using the API Designer to create RAML, reuse the existing RAML spec which is already provided by MuleSoft. By using that RAML, creating our own new API specification. And using that RAML, we are going to create a mock service which will be used by the end user to see the actual usage of API, and they can have a feel of how the API is going to look like. And finally, we are going to create an API implementation using that created RAML. Let's get started. So we logged into Anypoint platform, and we need to choose Design Center, and we can choose Start Designing. And here you will see a Create button. Click that. And you will see the pop-up window that says create a new application, import application, create API specification, and create fragment. So for now, let's start with how we need to create API specification. So we have already seen the API specification is nothing but RAML, and that is what we are going to design now. And we will create some name. So we'll say order API example RAML. So this is the RAML that we are going to create. So there are two types in which you can create. The first mode is code editor, and the second mode is visual editor. So for now, we will first choose visual editor. I will tell you why we need this, but actually we are going to do by using only code editor, but let's use it and choose Design Center and create specification. And you will see the window where there is a provision for you to enter the details that's going to be there in the RAML. So it will be, although it looks visual, it might be a little cumbersome to create this here. So we are going to choose one technique and to make it simple. So click on Import Example. And you can see here there is a customer API for visual editing. And you can see here it is created by MuleSoft organization. And it's a disclaimer, this is not created by me. This existing RAML spec is already available and provided by MuleSoft for ease of use, and so that we can create instantly. That's what I'm going to use. This is not designed by me on my own. So click that. Let's say import asset. And what it's going to give you is it's going to give you this the whole RAML content, and we are going to use it. And it will be, again, it's going to be very difficult if you want to use visually and create the resources. And we will see in yet another video on how to create it from scratch using this visual designer. But right now we are going to delete it. We have copied it. We are going to delete. And let's create the same by using code editor. We have given the name and say create specification. And it's going to give you empty RAML. And here we are going to delete, and we are going to use this. So it gives you some wonderful feature that you can instantly leverage. There is some error, which I don't know why. So we can remove this. So this is going to give some feature which I will explain, which you can use. So this RAML contains enough information that you can use it for your own project. So all you need is the sample input and sample response, and the input response code, response schema, and structure, everything. And also it gives you on how to create a custom data type. and you can see here by types there is an address created, and there is a contact created where the address is used internally. So it gives us some complex data type that we can leverage, and then we can, by using this, we can just copy paste and then create a custom data type whichever required to our use case. And it gives get, post and put methods as example. And amazingly, it also uses URI parameter. So it has all the varieties of or the nature of data that we use in our normal API. So this will be sufficient for us to create a new resource path whichever we needed, and then we can play around with the methods whichever you want, like get, put, post or delete, whichever you want, you can customize it. So so this is the example that you can start with, and then we are going to see how we are going to change every section, and then how the API designer is going to help. Let's get started again. So once you have this RAML content, and you can go ahead and modify based on your actual needs. And what you need to note is the margins under which you want to place your cursor there in order to get the tooltip. For example, I will show you, suppose you want to change the application JSON into XML, you can do it, or you can delete it, or you can place that cursor there, and you can delete the content, and then it's going to show you different options that's possible here. You can choose data type or schema or other documentation that's required, and the different data types. It provides all the data, and here it should be appropriate to choose application JSON, and you can remove unnecessary line, and you can define the example. But since it's everything is given, you can just customize the fields and data type based on your purpose. So I will leave it to you on how you are going to edit, since it contains all the related information, and you can do whichever the way you want to create the final RAML. Now let's see how to publish this, and then execute every methods to see how the mocking service looks like. So before that, you need to ensure that this mocking service is enabled. If you don't want the mocking service, you can disable it, and you can, we need to enable the mocking service, because we have seen in our previous video on architecture and design, it's always better to give this initial RAML design to the end user to get a feel of how they are going to get the response, and so that they can review and get back to us with the feedback, so that we don't need to redo once everything completed. Then there is a possibility for these changes to come. So it's better to always get the initial feedback from the business users once you create this RAML spec. So enabled it, and then say publish, and publish to Exchange, and it's going to create a asset version, and since we are creating this for the first time, it's going to give 1.0.0, and it says it's already a valid. And if you want, you can change the group ID and asset ID, and you can leave it to default. You don't need to do anything. Publish. So it's published. It's that easy. Let's go to Exchange and then see the service that we created. So it gives the name and then other details in this window. You can, if you want, you can change the name of the spec. And here are the endpoints. You can just click it here, and you can click this post. Based on the RAML design, it shows here the client ID and client secret is required, and it's giving the response. It keeps the data filled in for the request. So let's give it, and it gives bad request, and it says error validating parameter. It's as expected, because I have given client ID with the minimum length 10. So even if you give 1, 2, 3, 4, it's going to give you invalid, and check the documentation. So we need to give minimum of 10 characters and send it, and it's going to give the response as per the JSON. So you can give this service URL, which is the mock service URL, and let's see how this works in our Postman tool. So let's give it here, and customer is post, and then you need to copy this input JSON. Let's give it here, and I haven't given this client ID and secret, and let's see what happens. It says it's failed because it's a get method. We will change it to post. Click send. It says client ID, which is a required parameter, missing, so we will give client ID and client secret. So again it's going to fail because of this length. So expected length, it says very clearly how it should look like. So these are the things that are going to be helpful to get a feel of how the API looks like by the business users. They will definitely appreciate it. And let's use this here, and then it's going to give some response. So this is the way the mock service is created. It's created just quick and in quick time, in 5 minutes. So that's going to be very useful for the design purpose. And once you are done with the mock service, you can create an actual API implementation skeleton or framework quite easily. So you can download this RAML here by means of this download as RAML. You will see it's downloaded. You can see it's created, and you can see the content of RAML. So you can download this and you can create the implementation so easily. So choose new Mule project, and you can give the name, and you can specify the API definition here, and then browse files, and you're going to choose the RAML. So let's choose this RAML. Then it's going to give us the name that indicating that the RAML is valid, and you can say finish. I have already done that. So once you finish, it will import this API here. It will import this RAML, and then it will create all the appropriate methods and skeleton, and even it can create the URI parameter and create the transformation for our easy purpose. And you can make use of this parameter customer ID here. It's stored in the variable. It's already transformed by using data weave. So it's very simple, and the API console is available, and it's going to create one flow for each resource path, and it's instantly runnable, and then you can right click, run it, and then you can see how it works. So let's see. I have already done that. So you are going to see this. I have used this URI parameter in the data weave just to show that it can be used. So I'm giving 5, and then you're going to see the ID 5 here. So it's implemented, and then you can kickstart so easily, so that you can just focus on the development and the project related implementation activities without worrying about creating these templates. So once these kind of templates are created, you can create it in a GitHub and make it available to all the users. And we have also seen in the previous video on how to create the response for each error code. And you can furnish this also, then it will be a full-blown empty skeleton template for every API. You can commit it in GitHub and then share it with other developers so that they can instantly check it out, and then they can start focusing on the development activities. That's it in this video. This is a short introduction of how to use this API Designer. If you are already know by heart on creating this RAML by using just Notepad, it's great. And otherwise, you can still leverage the features that are available in RAML, and then you can instantly create your project in a flash, and then you can also enable the mock service to make things simple. So hope you liked this video, and if so, please hit thumbs up and then subscribe my videos Soon I will come up with more useful topics. Again, thanks for watching. Bye.